The snow fell in thick sheets across the Colorado mountains, blanketing everything in white silence. Roman adjusted his thermal coat and trudged through the drifts, checking his traplines as he did every winter morning. Life as a wilderness guide and survivalist suited him. No crowds, no noise, just the raw beauty of nature and his own thoughts for company. That's when he heard it, a sound that didn't belong in these woods, a high-pitched whimper, almost musical, cutting through the wind. Roman stopped, his breath forming clouds in the frigid air. He followed the sound past a cluster of pine trees until he found her, a small figure huddled against a fallen log, shivering violently. At first glance, she looked like a child, no more than 7 or 8 years old, but something was wrong. Her skin had an iridescent quality, shifting between pale blue and silver in the dim light. Her eyes were too large, too luminous, and her fingers too long and delicate. "Jesus," Roman whispered, dropping to his knees beside her. Whatever she was dying. Her lips had turned a dark purple, and ice crystals clung to what looked like a thin membrane covering parts of her body. Without hesitation, Roman stripped off his coat and wrapped it around the child. She made that musical sound again, weaker this time. He scooped her up. She weighed almost nothing and began the difficult trek back to his cabin. Inside, Roman worked quickly. He laid the child near the fireplace, piling blankets on top of her. Her body temperature was dangerously low, even accounting for the fact that he had no idea what normal was for her species. He heated water, made a weak broth, and tried to get her to drink. She struggled at first, but eventually managed a few sips. For 3 days, Roman nursed the alien child. He named her Kendall. The name just seemed to fit her somehow. She couldn't speak English, but she was intelligent. She watched everything he did with those enormous eyes, learning, understanding. On the 3rd day, she finally sat up on her own and touched his hand. Her skin was warm now, and when she looked at him, Roman could have sworn she was trying to say thank you. On the 4th morning, they came. Roman woke to a sound like thunder, but the sky was clear. He rushed to the window and felt his heart stop. A massive ship hovered above the clearing in front of his cabin, easily the size of a commercial airliner. It was sleek and dark, covered in patterns that seemed to shift and move like living things. The trees bent under the downdraft as it descended. "Oh God," Roman breathed. He looked at Kendall, who was standing now, her face transformed with joy. She ran to the door. The ship landed with surprising grace. A ramp extended, and figures emerged. They were tall, elegant beings, similar to Kendall but fully grown, wearing what appeared to be armor that gleamed like polished obsidian. At the front walked a female who could only be Kendall's mother. She had the same delicate features, but there was steel in her bearing, power in every movement. Behind her came the army. Hundreds of soldiers poured from the ship, taking up positions with military precision. Each carried weapons that hummed with barely contained energy. Roman stepped outside slowly, hands visible and empty. Kendall ran toward the soldiers, crying out in that musical language. Her mother caught her, swept her up, and held her close. The relief on her face was universal, transcending species. Then those luminous eyes fixed on Roman. The mother approached, still holding Kendall. The soldiers' weapons tracked Roman's every breath. He stood his ground, though his legs felt like water. When she spoke, her voice was like wind chimes, but somehow he understood the meaning if not the words. Kendall wriggled free and ran back to Roman, grabbing his hand. She spoke rapidly to her mother, gesturing at the cabin, at Roman, at the blankets still piled by the fireplace. The mother listened, her expression unreadable. Then she did something Roman never expected. She knelt before him, pressing her forehead to the snow. The entire army followed suit when she rose. The mother placed her hand over her heart, then extended it toward Roman. One of her soldiers stepped forward, carrying a small crystalline device. The mother took it and held it out. A translator, Roman realized as she pressed it near his temple. It adhered painlessly to his skin. "You saved my daughter," the mother said, and Roman could hear the weight of those words. "I am Commander Lyria of the 7th Fleet. We have searched 17 star systems for Kendall. Her pod crashed here during a navigation failure. We thought we had lost her. She was freezing," Roman said simply. "What else could I do?" Lyria studied him for a long moment. Most species would have feared her. Some would have captured her for study. Others would have left her to die rather than risk involvement with the unknown. She gestured to the soldiers behind her. "I brought an army because I did not know what I would find. I prepared for war. And instead you found a guy living in a cabin," Roman said with a weak smile. "I found a man with honor," Lyria corrected. "You asked for nothing. Expect it's nothing. You simply helped a child in need." She looked at Kendall, who was still clutching Roman's hand. "My daughter tells me you sang to her when she was frightened, that you gave her your food before taking any yourself, that you called her Kendall." Roman shrugged, embarrassed. She needed a name. Lyria smiled, and it transformed her face. "Roman of Earth, you have earned the gratitude of the Celestial Alliance. From this day forward, you are under our protection. Should you ever need aid, call to the stars, and we will answer." She touched the translator at his temple, and it detached, folding into a small pendant. "Keep this. It will work across all Alliance languages." Kendall hugged Roman tightly, and he felt tears sting in his eyes. He had only known her for a few days, but he would miss her. As the ship prepared to depart, Lyria turned back one final time. Your people are not yet ready to join the Alliance, but they will be. When that day comes, remember that it began here, with one human who chose kindness over fear. You have shown us the best of what humanity can be. The ship rose into the sky and vanished among the stars. Roman stood in the snow, holding the translator pendant, watching until even the faintest glimmer was gone. He never told anyone what happened that week. But sometimes, on clear nights, he would look up at the stars and wonder about a little girl named Kendall, and the mother who came with an army at her back not to wage war, but to say thank you.